Hi everybody, I don't normally do these kinds of videos, but this is what I've taken away from the trailers and the screenshots so far provided for Saber's new upcoming game, ROADCRAFT. I'll show the trailer first in case you haven't seen it, and then I'll go through the video, the screenshots provided and the FAQs provided by the developers. Just to reiterate, these are just my thoughts and not everything is confirmed, and everything is subject to change.
When I was a kid, I couldn't wait to leave this town behind. But what's that saying? Man plans and God laughs? Well, he must have had a good one on my account. When the water receded, it carried away everything we ever had. It also gave me a reason to stay. Truth is, we can't stop what's coming. The important thing is that we rebuild.
So overall, to me, this game looks like a merger between SnowRunner and Construction Sim, which sounds to me just ideal. So the first thing I want to highlight in the trailer is just by the wheel here. There's a forklift in the background. It is probably a prop, but you never know. We're going to have to be moving bits and pieces. Forklifts would be nice. In this little grab in the top left, you've got this old style excavator and this massive pile of sand. And we've seen that we'll be having to use tipper trucks to move sand around, so maybe that'll be something. Maybe the sand will be automatically loaded from hoppers. You never know. One can hope. And then here, there's a lot of debris. You can kind of see a route going around a little road area that we can make around, but whether or not we're going to be demolishing and rebuilding these buildings is unknown, or whether or not it's just industry and infrastructure. And now here we get to see a good shot of the debris being moved, and we've got this crane using this sliding to lift. As you can see, the boom slides through. So it's quite a unique crane, but maybe we're not going to get the same style full ISO controls that you would get in Construction Simulator. Also, take note of the sign in the background here. This is a recommended speed sign that you would see in sort of Spain. So this could mean that one of the biomes is sort of, it might just be completely random, just temperate, and they've just taken signs from anywhere. But this could indicate, say, northeastern Spain or something like that. And we've got whatever's in these boxes. This is a tower crane lifting a damaged container, and the tower crane, as we'll see in the next bit, is also on these rails. So hopefully we can actually move along the rails to help move the debris. We've got another tow crane. This is a dockside crane. And whether we'll get to use that one is unsure. And there's another tower crane just obscured by this container as well, which is pretty good. Here we've got the route planner being drawn in for the AI driving of the trucks. And there's a radio beep. The truck drives into the pond and it says, "Oh, I'm stuck." So that might be an indicator message that we get while we're doing our thing, that a truck is stuck and it needs some help and a bit of a rescue. And then you've got two vehicles moving in convoy, but you do have debris on the road. Now I'm assuming that there will be a collision here, so these trucks will come in and basically they'll hit that and either try and push past it or crash into it and stop, and then you'll get a notification that this sort of stuff needs to be moved out of the way. This is the bit where the truck gets stuck. Let's see if we can get the right bit.
I think I'm stuck here.
There you go. He says, "I think I'm stuck here." So hopefully from there, we can help him out as we come in with the bigger off-road truck and just dump some sand. This is the same vehicle. So this is a multi-purpose vehicle, so you can use it as a bulldozer or also a trenching and cable or pipe laying vessel. It might be narrow pipe, might be thick cable, but it's good to know. And you can see either side, we've got water. So that means we can actually remove water hazards by just throwing enough material down there. And then here we have using a fairly modern paver. We'll go over that, and then it'll need steamrolling after that. And there it is, steamrolling. And you can see there's different patches, so you can see it won't just be as and when it's done. It's a bit uneven there, but you can see it's a lot finer than the way the voxels move in Mudrunner and Snowrunner. So we'll have to probably make several tracks up and down a road to make sure you get full coverage. Nice and smooth, maybe a bit lumpy, and you supposedly you'll be able to just do this all over the map, really. Maybe you're not across like big, I mean, that's a pretty big looking river. Whether or not you can pave across that will be a real challenge. And so this is the generator unit from SnowRunner, and it's no longer trailer bound, which is nice because it's one of the heaviest trailers for its size in the game. Here we've got a pipeline. It could be water, it could be for oil, but this red marker seems to indicate that it's broken. And in the very following clip, you've got the little slidey crane truck, which is a very odd design. Big front wheels, dually rear wheels, and the stabilizers, and it's lifting out. You see that pipe has got a hole in it there, so you'll have to lift a new one in. It's probably part of a contract or however they're running the mission setup. And this is a trencher, and that thing spins really fast and you don't want to be in the way of it. So this is a more conventional means. If you've got solid ground, you would use a dedicated trencher and then cable lay and rebury after that. I mean, that's a couple of hundred RPM right there, and that will do the job. And then this is your modern logging machine. So it'll grab it initially while the tree is still in the ground, cut it to leave the stump, and then wait through it to cut it up into its segments for transporting for building bridges. Next, we've got this bulldozer, well, this tracked vehicle again. The bulldozer blade is gone, but on the front, you've got a cable reel, and over the top, you have your cable, and this is a trenching wheel, so you can adjust the depth of that to go as deep as you need to. And this is also in the sandy biome, if you hadn't noticed, with all the sand and little greenery. Here we've got the equivalent of your Zix 605R on a 1, 2, 3, 4 on a 5-axle bed trailer. As given the steepness of this ramp, getting this machine on there was probably craned. Also, you wouldn't really drive with that all the way up in the air because you might catch bridges. So this is either cooperative play or I guess like an AI convoy. So you're driving this truck and whatever's behind just follows you, because that would be ideal. So we've got newer versions of the articulated ramp platforms for recovery work. Next, we've got this moving gantry crane, and it's lifting up this metal framework. Hopefully that crane hook can move left and right, as well as obviously up and down. But yeah, it seems like we're going to have access to a huge amount of machinery. It's going to be great, as you can see it moving along there. And now with a quick shot of two modern style of asphalt paver and roller. This is more for compacting your sand, so this should really be in front of this. You should have a proper steamroller behind it. But anyway, that's by the by, that's fine. But yeah, it means that there's gonna be old and new stuff, which is great. It's good to have a variety. And then at the end, a panning shot showing the old stuff, with the new stuff probably in the background. But also note on this left side, we've got a small oil field. We've got the oil jacks. So that's probably going to be one of the industries behind the bits and pieces. So yeah, moving on to the screenshots. So here we're in a boggy marsh. We've got the same track vehicle with a better view of the trenching equipment. So we've got the cable reel at the front, the trencher going around, and you can see this kind of texture will look familiar to any SnowRunner or Mudrunner player. It doesn't look like there's a reburial method, unless it's part of these wings here, but they would need to be lower down. Moving on, we've got, well, it's like a K700, except the tool is on the front of which you drive and face. So you've got a massive dozer blade, and that'll just be your general purpose clearance vehicle, probably. And there it is again. So you can see the various articulation points to be able to tilt it forward and backwards, angle it left and right, and obviously up and down. And there it is, I don't know, ramping into someone's former house. Here we've got a little pickup truck and the typical roof rack. That's quite a Expeditions looking roof racks. We've got repair parts, spare fuel, spare wheel, that sort of thing. Might have radar integrated, who knows. In the background, another tower crane, which we should be able to use. Here we've got, this is the bulldozer blade on the tracked vehicle. This vehicle's getting a lot of use, and it's a better blade than this one because this one is flat, whereas this one you don't have to angle it to actually push things out of the way. The yellow one will just push things forward. But also it's got this unique paint scheme with these grey, well, is it yellow with grey stripes or grey with yellow stripes? Who knows? We've got another scout now. It looks like the rock crawler or something like that. Also, my speculation of this region, North Africa, this is pretty much the Tunisian flag, which I'll put on the screen here. Yes, so it's pretty sandy. Rare for this kind of area to flood, but you know, you never know. And plus, it's a game, it doesn't matter. Here we have another new scout with some monstrously wide, probably sandy tires. With its own roof rack and this very nice new bridge, which looks like it's built out of freshly cut bits. Whether or not we'll have to build the bridge in sections or just deliver the logs and planks and it just builds it, who knows. Blue version of that same vehicle and sort of a temple mosque place. It's pretty nice. Here we have a collapsed road. I'm not sure how it's collapsed, but it has. And the mission here is clearly recover this broken pipe section and replace it with whatever is in the back. The crane is very reminiscent of the Bandit crane, and the truck itself is kind of like the Actaeon. And hopefully the crane stabilizers will actually provide a bit more stability to trucks doing crane ops rather than just tipping over. So here we've got the start of a road making process. So a tipper truck has been through here and has delivered sand, as you can see with this sandy ridge. And now the tractor's coming in to bulldoze it all relatively flat before paving. As you can see, job done. So hopefully they update the treads to actually match the tires rather than just being like regular car treads. And again, you can see in the background here the various machines. So we've got the little crane truck, we've got the roller and the paver already. And again, you can see water that has been essentially minimized by dumping sand through it. And there's your old style paver. You see where it's began, where the sand is. It's all muddy either side, but you're making stable ground for driving. And then paving over it and rolling it. So you can see you've got two textures to work on. Obviously, the smoother looking texture is the road that's been done. And the roller looks to be sinking into the ground quite a bit there. And this is your old Voron or whatever. Plowing through the mud. It's got the big chunky off-road tyres. You got a bit of a sand texture on one wheel and a more muddy texture on the other. Whether or not they'll have the same traction properties is unknown at this point, but it looks like somebody's been busy clearing a lot of trees as well. And there you go. The road is nearly done. It's being rolled over now, so that'll take a few runs back and forward. Older logging machine, so clamp the bottom of the tree, cut it down, leave the stump, turn it round, cut the tree down into logs for usable sections, and a solar farm, which is likely something we'll have to put together, flatten out certain areas, so we can install a lot of solar panels. This is a huge area. And then you've got, I think we saw that earlier on, one of the earlier pictures. Now here we've got a different crane on what looks like, you know, the kind of Zix 605R. This Scout looks like it was the first one we saw in yellow, but now it's in this reddy purple. But, you know, new crane, and picking up a broken car and putting it into a flatbed, we presume. Which means that we should be able to pick up quite a lot more like random things. Obviously in SnowRunner, you can pick up your own vehicles and trailers and cargo and that's it. But now, part of the debris stuff and clearing it is getting rid of everything. So it's good we can do something like that. And then this very, very snazzy tracked crane with a very nice paint scheme. Doing another, but the slide will be doing a lot of pipe work, lifting it out. You can see this truck in the background has a replacement pipe that'll go in there, and then you'll maybe recover it with sand to bury it. Now onto the FAQ, which is on the SnowRunner official Discord. There is a ROADCRAFT section, as well as the section for expeditions in SnowRunner. So they provided this at the end of August, and it's to answer a few questions, queries. So ROADCRAFT is a standalone experience built on a modified version of the Havoc engine for manipulating heavy construction vehicles, and it is not meant to replace SnowRunner or Expeditions. It'll be its own side branch, which is nice. The focus of the game is to repair infrastructure that has been devastated by natural disasters. ROADCRAFT should push you to alter your environment to reach your goals. Can I drive trucks or is it fleet managing? It is both. That's as we've seen in the trailer. There's trucks moving around. There's a top-down like route planner, and you see things moving. So be able to do both. So it should speed things up. Let's say we'll be building buildings or just roads. So the focus is on infrastructure, roads, bridges, electrical stuff, manipulating sand, asphalt, and debris as part of the toolkit. Will steering wheels be compatible? The intend to support basic hardware, so that will be just like a basic wheel and pedals, hopefully. And then later on, for other peripherals that are available, like tractor controls, maybe that'll become part of it. But they'll keep on it as best they can. The physics will be similar to SnowRunner, but because it's working tracks, it'll be a bit different. No doubt, if you hit a signpost 30 miles per hour, it will probably still send you flying into the air as it does in SnowRunner. How many maps will there be at launch? There'll be 8 maps planned at launch, 2 main biomes. So it's not clear at the minute if it's, say, like SnowRunner, going to be a region made of 4 maps, or if it's 8 just completely separate maps, or 2, 2, 4 or something. It's, yeah, but 2 biomes. So you've got like a temperate one and a desert one. How many missions will there be at launch? The game's sandbox approach will allow you to choose your own objectives, but each map will offer a few dozen main and side objectives. So yeah, I imagine a lot of the people playing SnowRunner will give ROADCRAFT a go because it's a similar sort of vibe. So it's probably going to be a similar mission layout where you've got tasks scattered around, build a bridge, clear debris, and then there's going to be the big contracts like repair the pipeline, do this highway section, make this road from A to B, something like that. Can we build roads anywhere on the map? Yes. Interesting. Let's fill in the rivers. Will there be mods at launch? As it's a new engine, the editor will be different, so they've got to get that sorted first. So the first thing mods-wise we'll be able to see is map mods, and then trucks after that. So no doubt people will be prepping what trucks they want to import into the game based on real stuff, combat tractors and things like that, or the tanks. How long before people are logging with tanks or something. And will there be co-op at launch? Yep, there will be multiplayer and crossplay at launch, and an in-game voice chat feature will also be available at release, which is great for, like, I presume it's going to be Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, who will all be able to play together, hopefully. Although I don't think the Switch will be able to talk to the other consoles, but you got to do what you got to do. And that about wraps it up. Overall, I'm very excited to see what comes next for the trailers and additional screenshots in the future. The game should be releasing in 2025, but there's no indication on which quarter of the year it will be released at this time. I'd rather the devs didn't rush it and it released all full of bugs. I'd rather they take the time to get things right. I will be streaming the game and making content when it releases, so be sure to sub up if you haven't already, and if you want to keep up with what I'm doing. And then thank you very much, and goodbye.